Good. Proper modulation. Check your modulation. You hear that? You hear that noise, subscribers? You'll see it in a minute. Hear that? Hear that nice ping? That echoey, long-lasting ping? Hear that? Hear that? Hear that? That's real money. You hear that, subscribers? I'm going to show you. You hear that? That's the sound of real money. Right there. Real money. God's money. This is what we call God's money, people. Right there. It's got real cling to it. Your money in the United States and around the world has been counterfeit, subverted. They've subverted and averted and tricked you into accepting counterfeit money as your currency. As I shoot the shit with you, as I smoke some hashish and the mota. I'm not a financial advisor. We're gonna look at some coins while I play one on my own radio show. This is strictly educational and entertainment only. Yes. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not play one on my own radio network or anywhere else on social media. This is Sharon. What coins do you want? Let's start with XRP.
Only. I cannot recommend stocks, nor do I. This is strictly my own personal opinion and belief.
Dissected and subverted and averted several little things here. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to clean up this chart. And then we're going to show you something. I deleted my Bitcoin one, so I got to superimpose them back. But let's fade some of these into the background real quick. Fade that. Fade that. Fade that. Fade that, right? Now we're going to bring this back into the limelight. Check this out. Come on. Bam. Bam. Remember that track? This is the one we superimposed along with Bitcoin as just one of the things Vincenzo and Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing does in this probability-based, one-of-a-kind, company-made system and data sets that I use and how I weight them accordingly to come up with a going forecast. Yes, I'm the only one that calls Kazoon type. Check your proper modulation. I'm the only one that calls these in the stock trading world a forecast. I'm making a going forecast, a forecast update, because I treat it like I'm forecasting the weather. I'm an amateur weather forecaster, very successful. That's another one of my hobbies. But one of my weather mentors, Joe Bastardi, likes to say my going forecast. So I like to steal that from him. Check him out at Weatherbell. No bullshit kind of weather. Just like this is a no bullshit kind of crypto. Ooh, we're getting one of them scattered thunderstorms that we were talking about in the greater Bloomington area right now. I can hear it pinging on the window. But you can see our track has been calm. It's beautiful. The price action, like I talked about earlier, has been favoring the high side of the track. You can see that, right? It's been favoring the high side. So when we made this, I erased it and then I redrew it with my pencil. We kind of said in the Labor Day weekend, right in here, right now, right in here, right now. See that? We went on the high side of the track and said it's calling for an extended week to 10 days of sideways and just a wobbly sideways action. And we thought it could come all the way over and then get rejected and come down to our mid-range target of 46 cents. Even though our track was showing it could touch it here, we made the forecast on the high side up here because up here the track was on the high side, then came into the mid-range, then came lower, but still it's favoring the high side. And we've done a good job with that. And it looks like now it's threatening to break down. And if it does, you're going to come right down here really quick and then come back up to overhead resistance at 74 cents and then get rejected. And then you could pump back up to upper resistance to get rejected again. You see how this can play and how the track says. We got a long ways to go on this wedge. Several more weeks to maybe a month or two. But old Vincenzo is going to stay on top of this for you. At Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. That's why we forecasted since up here. We laid this track down up here for you and said this is what we're going to trade the weeks to months, because we know we're in a multi-year or a multi-month, perhaps a year and a half bear market, and a lot of pain is going to come, and these tracks have been nailing it for you, and that's just one of the things that I use. And you can see our blow off top at just below $2. I think it was $1.98, $1.94, whatever. And then we got our upper resistance. God, fucking trading view. We got our upper resistance up there. We got our mid-range resistance as the price action moves. About $1.17. Oh my God. Upper resistance as the price moves is about $1.51. But we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon. And we told you, we dissected this out too. This is a bearish continuation pattern. It's a rising wedge. And those are bearish, right? And we warned you about that. That's why we drew that out. Back here to that to now. Industry favorite and company made YouTube famous exclusively at Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing drawing tool. We drew this out at the start of the holiday weekend, and we said we're probably going to trade in an up or just a sideways pattern up in here on because our track showed that it should be in there, but we forecast it slightly higher on the north side of the track because that's where it's been favoring, and it worked out beautifully, right? It's a beautiful forecast made by this office. In the going forecast, everyone asks me all the time why I don't do updates to my forecast. I just keep kind of monitoring the day-to-day price because I put out this forecast up here. This current one, we had prior ones back of Almore that are still being flawlessly, but this one in this new pattern, in the 4-hour to daily time frame pattern, we sniffed it out in here and laid this track out underneath the price action when the price action was up here. It's up now. And we said this is where it's going to trade, and it's not going to go straight down, just like it doesn't go straight up. We said it's going to start bouncing, and it's going to use these moving averages as support and resistance. Use the 50 as support, upper resistance. 50 as support, knocked down by upper resistance. Broke through the 50, came down to the 100 in the red line, used it briefly as support, then crashed down to the underneath, bottom 200, bounced up off it as support, got rejected now by the over at 100, came back to the 50, got rejected by the over at 100, came back to the 250, got rejected by the over at 100, and now we're going to start falling down, and that looks beautiful into our track because that's where the moving averages lay out, and now it's forcing them down. When the moving averages are rising with the price and they're underneath the price, they act as support, and it can bounce the price because there's buyers. When the price gets underneath the moving averages and the moving averages are trending down like this, like they are, the 100's coming down, and this is just in a daily, the 250's coming down, and then the price action works below it. Now when it comes into it, that's all a heavy sell pressure to try to break through that, and it's very hard to break through all that as the volume again in the daily continues to crash way down there, and that's no good. That signifies the enthusiasm and the hype and the momentum has been bleeded and sucked out of this market. Because most of it, you can see we never, even in XRP with that big pump, we never came close to those candlesticks with this pump, right? And then it just died, just like it did back here, because most of this money wasn't new money like it was back there. The same money that was here is still in it here, but as the price went up, these people became into profit finally, and they were able to lever up and use margin, which wasn't available back here, so they could use margin right there. And then with that much less volume than back here in 18 and late 17, they could pump the price a lot. They could pump the price a lot quicker, but still well shy of the old high because they could use margin. So they didn't need that big volume push to pump the price up from a state of deadness to 2,000%. That's why our going forecast is looking beautiful. And our going forecast, and it has not changed and it will not change, is exactly what you see in an up and down fashion, what this white line says. That is Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing going forecast out into the foreseeable future, all the way out to the end of this year and in the early next year. And that's why I keep saying Dogecoin by the end of 2021, and I'll get to Dogecoin in a second, but this coin by the end of the year, I could see a scenario zoom in. What's going on, TradingView? I could see a scenario where XRP is so depressed and so beat down that you guys are all out of the market, and the price is back here in the long-term support and resistance at between 20 cents and, oh yes, even a little bit lower, 15, 10, 8, and then bouncing back up to the 50 cent and then back like that. I could see it bouncing from this 20 cent all the way down to the 8-9 cent range later on this deep in the summer and into the late fall and early winter. I have much lower targets in XRP before any kind of substantial new highs. The volume's telling me, the price action's telling me, the noise around it's telling me, yes, there's going to be big bounces like that on its way up and down, right? It's not just going to go straight down. You're going to have big up and downs in there. See that? And just every time, no, you sell the rallies and then you can buy the big dips, but you sell into every rally until there's structural change in the market. This was an in-depth technical analysis on XRP. Like, subscribe, and share. Right now, and I'm going to go into my YouTube and company and Vincenzo exclusive line tool with oops, I'm sorry. Wrong one. Yes, I fuck up. I go back here to my line tool with an arrow, aka perching tool, and I'm gonna perch. Oh, as I swim in the ocean. Woo, I'm gonna perch up top here and give you some technical analysis. Oh yes. Don't be the Rex eyebrow. Good evening on this increasingly dark, hot, sticky, uncomfortable early summer, early June. This is Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, where you like, subscribe, and share for a one-of-a-kind, probability-based trading alert and the Rex eyebrow.